All right, welcome to CGM Realty Inc. Hope you're having a great week so far and you're ready to crush it in real estate. What I wanted to do is just go over setting up the MLS. That's the first thing I want you to do once you get licensed is to set up your MLS profile, because that's going to be your number one tool to research property, gather information, and send it to potential clients. So a few things I need you to understand is that the MLS does not automatically make you productive, right? It's not going to put money in your pocket just by having access to the MLS. It's all about being consistent, staying relentless, and also creating a schedule that you can stick to and use that schedule to outreach. Prospecting is the number one way to make money in this business, okay? Prospect. Every day you should prospect, have a schedule to prospect. All right, so a few things you'll need to get started in the MLS. You need to have your login information. You should be on this screen already. So before you get started, you just make sure you have your login information and you have access to the screen. This is the Realtor Dash, right? Next thing, you need to make sure you have your email address that you're going to use, your correct phone number you want people to call you on whenever they need to schedule showings, reach out to you. You need the brokerage information. You need a headshot if possible. If you don't have one, I would say pause the video and try to get you a headshot and then resume the video after. Next thing is, of course, laptop is the best to access the MLS. You also need to set up your phone for authentication purposes. But let's start with the basics. So first thing is, when you access the MLS, the first and main tool that you're going to use is the Matrix. So you click on the Matrix. All right, look how we are logging in. So we are getting inside the Matrix. So once we're in the Matrix, the first thing I want us to do is to go ahead and click on your name, click on settings. And then once you click on settings, I want you to go ahead and look at my information and manage your contact information. Just verify that all this information on this page is correct. You want to make sure the phone number that you want to be reached is correct. You want to make sure your email address is correct. If you need to make changes, you could click here to override the information and make those changes, okay? In my case, everything is correct. No need to make any changes here. Next thing you want to go to is header and footer. I want you to come in here and then I want you to create a custom header and footer. What this is whenever you send a property to someone, you print out a sheet to show someone a property, it's going to have, you can put a header on that property that's going to have your contact information. So if they look back at the sheet, they can quickly say, oh, I got this from Conroy McKenzie and his phone number is here. Let me call him because I'm interested in this property. All right, so here you can go to select different banner image theme, and they have quite a few different options here that you could choose from. So they have some really nice ones you could pick. It's tons and tons of them. So choose the one that, fits your needs and assigned to what you're going for. Next, we're going to go back here, and the other thing I want you to do is make sure that you put a photo. Always upload a custom photo. So you go to change photo, right, and then you can browse the computer and look for your image and upload it, and this allows you to make adjustment on the photo. So in case you have like a full body shot like I do here, or a half body shot, you can cut out part and just focus on your face. So then I want to go ahead and go back, because you could save it at the bottom, but I'm going to go back because I could save it here, but I'm not making any changes on mine, so I'm just going to go back there. So I want you to also scroll down to the bottom and says footer. Do I want to print footer? No need to put the footer if you're already going to have the banner on all your stuff, okay? Next, we want to go to the CMA cover sheet. And we want to make sure whenever we do a CMA, we want to ensure that all the information is correct again. So as I said, if you see something that's incorrect, you could click on override and change that information right here, okay? So in my case, everything is correct. And in your case, a lot of things will be correct if you put all the information you want to have displayed when you're setting up your MLS account with the board. Then the next and most important thing is your email signature. So you want to come here. This is whenever someone gets an email from you, right? You want to make sure that they have the correct signature attached. So in my case, I just want to change this number here. Okay, So what happened is that mine got reset because we've recently gone a major change in the MLS. So for example, whenever I send someone a property, it's gonna show at the bottom here under the list and my name and my phone number. So that's why you want to make sure that information is correct there. All right. So I want to make it a little bit nicer. So Conroy McKenzie, CJM Realty Inc. I want people to know that this is a cell phone number. And here we can add, like, you could do a custom image, but to do a custom image you have to do like create an URL for that. But for the MLS, we could just keep it simple, you know, just name, phone number. But in your actual email address, like the email that you're going to use to email clients, I really want you to go ahead and make sure you add the company logo and all that stuff there. All right, so we're going to save this. All right, then we go to agent web page. This, I don't use it quite frequently. This is not something that I use. And then we're going to go to OneHome, which is super new. So no, OneHome is whenever you send someone a property, they're going to have like a profile of yourself in there. And I'll show you what that looks like in a second here. There's my example. All right, look like I'm freezing up there for a bit. Trying to go to another page. All right, so for OneHome, let's set up the OneHome, and then I'll show you what it would look like in another video. So one, you want to make sure your name is correct, phone number again, company there, email address. You want to make sure all that information is correct. Then you want to go down to title. If you want to add a title, like if you want to have some kind of content, you know, you want to create like some type of profile, you want to put that there as well. Okay. Then you want to save all the changes you made. Before, again, photo, always change your photo. So your photo, you will always have to upload it. So for OneHome, you have to add the photo. For the header and footer, you have to add the photo as well, okay? And then you save here and exit out of everything. So now you should have everything set up for your settings. So let's go back here. All right, so we just finished my information, right? So that would be your first thing to do to get your MLS profile set up.